Alright, with the Hebrew Israelites, come out here week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of your kingdom, right? And the rising up. Many that you know as the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, right? Which are going to be your future masters, right? You're going to be your owners, so you can understand. Because just like how you got the so-called elite banking families right now, and they own everything that's all up in here. Exactly how the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the real Israelites, that's how we're going to be, man. Right? We're going to be in ownership of land, white gold, right? Real riches, not the riches of the people out here going out and buying because it's Christmas or some shit like that. Which is, you know, Christmas all goes back to some demonic worship, goes back into the, you know, the worship of the winter solstice and all of that, man. Worship of the sun, so you can understand. It all goes back to Babylon. Right? We go into the book of Revelations, which I'll probably get into a little bit now. Right? Given it's, you know, it's their demonic holiday out here. Right? It goes to show you that that really this is Babylon, man. We're in a system perpetuated by Babylon, which is America. So you can understand. Where Babylon just simply means a land full of confusion. Right? When you're telling people that it's a so-called Christian society, which the word Christian means, comes from the word Christos, meaning anointed. It's a derogatory term they used to describe the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites. When the law was on the sea, because we followed after the law, right? And they killed us for it, right? We call this a so-called Christian society and all that. They're worshipping something that's not even in the scriptures, man. They call it the birth of Christ and all of that, but that's not in the scriptures, man. Right? There's no account where the Lord was born on the 25th of December. So that goes back to Saturnalia, man, which is all the worship of demons, right? Because that's what really running this society. Pretty much with that, I can jump into some scriptures, man, right? Showing you that the Most High is watching everything that happens on the earth, and it's recording everything that happens, especially the things that they do to the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. You know, choking the Negroes out there, man. Right, when he's with his hands up and he's begging for mercy and all of that. The scripture, you know, the scripture also says, right, who is your household of man that showed no mercy, receive mercy. Trying to show you that, man, the Most High is not messing around. He's not messing around when you eat him, man. Right, when he comes forth and shows forth his anger, his indignation, spoken about in the book of Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, man. Ain't gonna be merciful, right? Especially if you haven't showed no mercy going into these different countries, taking whatever you will, right? Most likely ain't gonna have mercy upon that, right? Now let me get this in the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, the 8th verse, man. Beautiful scripture. And I'm gonna go to the second verse, man. We'll go jump up and then read the second verse, which is going to describe how these elites pretty much are preparing themselves for to try and escape, right? The impending nuclear war that's going to happen between the U.S. and Russia, right? How they're going to set up bomb shelters and all of that, which is just going to lead them into the, which is going to make them be the first fruits of captivity, right? Without further ado, this is the book of Amos, the 9th chapter and the 8th verse, speaking about the angels, right, which are men of color, black men, so you can understand, right. It says, "Behold, I as the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth." Now, proof enough, right? This is a sinful kingdom. They go back and forth talking about, like I said before, man. It's some Christian society, man. They're all up into demon worship, Halloween, Christmas, Easter. That all goes back to the Babylonian doctrine, and that's where we know through the scriptures, right, through the deciphering of the scriptures, right, that America is Babylon, and Babylon was just like in the past time was destroyed, and guess what? It's going to be destroyed this time, right? And it says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the simple kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving utterly. I will not destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord." The Lord ain't going to destroy the house of Jacob. Who is the house of Jacob? Right? The Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and they're going to be scattered across the world, man. Right? They're going to come in different shades and forms and all of that, man. Right? You're going to have Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that have gone up into these different countries, right? Dealt with the women of these different countries, and as a direct result, you're gonna have the real Israelites coming in different colors and shapes and forms, man. Right? You're gonna have Israelites that look like Moabites, Ammonites, you know, Japhites, Ishmaelites, and all that, man. Right? Let me jump into some precepts on Amos the 9th chapter on the 8th verse. I'll get into Amos the 9th chapter and the 2nd verse a little bit later on. Right, and this is Job, the 18th chapter, and the 5th verse on down. It says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out." Right, and you know, the society, the least of this society, call themselves the Illuminati. They're gonna be put out, man. That's your light. That's who brings you your so-called wisdom into existence. Of which the scriptures say, man, the wisdom of this world ain't nothing but folly anyway, man. Right, going into these different colleges, right, the public full system and all of that, that ain't gonna, that ain't gonna better you. It's gonna not even better in society. It's just a money scheme, man. Right, especially the college scheme, man. The so-called university scheme. That's just a means of making for the government, for making money, man. Which the word government just comes back from the two words govern and meant. As in mental, as in to govern your mind, man, to control your minds. Right, and that's why you go into these different news streams and TVs and all of that. Right, they got you on predictive programming, man. Right, how they want you to think, people think, man. How they want you to breathe, live, and all of that, man. These elites, these so-called elite banking families, the so-called Jews, man, they got you doing whatever they want you to do, man. Right, because they got you people down on fact. But the scripture says, man, if you were possible to deceive the very elect, meaning to say, the elect of the Most High is going to be alright, man. Right, so, furthermore, the scripture speaks about they ain't no enchanting against Israel, more specifically the elect, man. So they put their spells up, and when they go into their rituals and all of that, man, the elect is going to be alright. Right, matter of fact, when you go into the book of Proverbs, I believe it speaks about the Lord saying his servants is going to eat. So when there's going to be all that famine out here, the Most High is going to make a way for his servants, the ones that still be out here, whether it's cold or whatever, right, under the orders of Yahushai and Yahweh, man, right, to come out here diligently putting in some work, man. Right, because when you go into faith as well, man, because a lot of people say they got faith, man, right, faith is dead without works, man. That's why the Most High has got his men out here condemning this society, condemning this kingdom. Right? The book of Job, the 18th chapter and the 5th verse, it says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, the spark of his fire shall not shine." Right? The light shall be dark in his tabernacle. Right? And it says, "And his candle shall be put out with him." Right? And it says, "And the steps of his strength shall be straightened." Right? So the steps of his strength, setting up your so-called new world order and all of that, man. Right? And the word straighten means difficulties, man. It's going to be made difficult, man. Right? There's going to be all kind of stuff that's popping up. Like, they wanted to go into Syria, man, and really start that new world, the world war free, right, by means of Syria, but that's not how it was prophesied within the scriptures. Right? So that path to their so-called new world order has been made difficult, man. Right? And but the scripture also says, man, although it tarry, right, it shall not fail, man. Right, so the book of, when you go into the book of Isaiah, it talks about Babylon, which is America. It says, although that tarries, man, although it seems like it's lasting long, it really is a short time, man. Right, because from the moment America's going to be destroyed, and all of our contemporaries, so you can understand. Well, the moment that's done, man, Israel's going to be in a good place, man. The Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going to be in a good place. Right, back in the book of Job, it says, "For he is cast into a net by his own feet." Right? He's cast into a net by his own feet, meaning say the devices that he set up to preserve his so-called new world order, man, they're going to be his own destruction. Namely, the nuclear weapons. When you go into the book of Isaiah, the 45th chapter, 5th chapter, in fact, I might as well bring that out because that's a beautiful scripture. Right? Because he speaks on the preservation, right, of the elect in times of trouble that is coming, man. Right? This is Isaiah 54 and 16. It says, behold, I've created the smith. Who's the smith? These scientists that be in the labs, right? Creating these designer epidemics that's gonna hit, of which Ebola was a designer epidemic, man. That whole thing was controlled, man. 1 minute it's on the news, next minute it's not on the news. It's supposed to be an epidemic, man. Right? So that whole thing is controlled, man. That's why you have a center of disease control, where they control what's out there in the mainstream, man. What's killing people and what's not killing people. Right? But we know the scripture speaks about plagues coming through the earth, so Ebola was just the beginning of them plagues, man. But you're damn sure you can bet on it. There's gonna be what's known as bio warfare, man. Right, as well as nuclear warfare. There's gonna be bombs that's gonna be set off, right? That's gonna release epidemics out there, right? Which just means a large disease spread, man. It's gonna be a large disease spread, man. Right, as a result of one of these different countries releasing a bioweapon, and that might be used as a catalyst of going into World War III, or they might just carry on backing Russia into a corner, right? Namely by their so-called geopolitical sanctions, right? They might just carry on backing Russia into a corner, right? Until we have World War III, man. Right? But the scripture speaks of only three world wars, man. It doesn't speak about 4 world wars, man. So you can bet your bottom dollar, man, that once that World War III is done, man, or really not done, right when it starts, we know the scripture speaks about the Lord coming in, right, saving his elect, right, and destroying your people, man, your precious shopping malls and all of that, man. Right, so you can bet on that. Right, so this is the book of Isaiah the 54th chapter and the 16th verse. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Right, and like I was saying, you got the bioweapons, but the main thing is those nuclear weapons, man. Right, they're gonna do some beautiful destruction of, your precious kingdom, right? But they're gonna do some destroying, man. That's gonna be a beautiful thing to see America and England and all of these different countries that have fought against the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the real Israelites. It's gonna be beautiful to see the fall of our enemies, man. Right? Does not the scripture say in Galatians, the 1st chapter and the 6th verse, something to the effect of it's pleasing unto the Most High to recompense them that cause you tribulation, man. Right, so the Most High is all about balance, man. He likes balance, man. And unjust weight is unjust with the Most High, man. So just like how you touched our people, the Most High is going to touch you in that way, right? But he's going to bring you down to the earth first, and then we're going to afflict you, man. Right? So he says, behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Now I've created the waste to destroy it, man. Right? And this is talking about the elect here in the 17th verse, where it says here, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. So all of these different bioweapons, all of that, which, brothers might have been in contact with people that, but the scripture says we was going to be alright, so you wouldn't even notice, because you wouldn't notice, man. Right, because the Most High had the heads around you and you was protected from that particular epidemic, man. And which, that's really talking about the future, right? When those nukes is going to be popping up, more bioweapons going to be popping up, all that, man. Right? If I read it again, it says, no weapon that is formed against thee, right, shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. Right? Going into the fact that, man, people are going to be cursed out, man. Right, because you got scoffers and scorners of even of the circle within the real Israelites. You got scoffers within that, right? But really, all that's a generic term to describe anyone that comes up with bucks up against the truth, man. Right, and the Most High said it, they're gonna be condemned, right? Meaning destruction is gonna come upon them, man. Right, thou shalt condemn, and this is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of the Most High. Right, so the Most High establishes the righteousness of his so-called anointed, man. He's elect, so he can understand. Right. Now let me get back into the book of Job, 18th chapter, right? And the 8th verse, it says, "For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare." Right? The jinn, which when you go into the word jinn, right, it just means a bird. It's just a bird trap, right? The jinn shall take him by his heel, right? And if you go into just being spiritual with that, right? Shall take him by his heel. When Jacob, when Esau and Jacob, brother, when Esau was born, his hand was held Jacob's hand was held on Esau's heel, man. So that trap, man, really that trap could be indicative, or it could be metaphorical, speaking about how Israel's gonna be like a trap to these Edomites, man. Right? Let me read that again. It says, the jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. Right? The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him is in the way. Right? Terror shall make him afraid on every side, man. That's how it's gonna be for America in that day, man. Right? Because they're gonna be scared of it's definitely the Russians. They're gonna be scared of the Russians, and what the Russians are gonna do as a result of putting them into a corner and that. They're gonna be scared from the Chinese. Right? Be scared. Hey, it's gonna be scared from the Cubans, right? Because them Cubans, from they've never got along with them Americans, man. So they're gonna be scared on every side, man. Right? That's what it says here, right? Terrors shall make him afraid on every side, right? And shall drive him to his feet. Right, and it says his strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. So your destruction is gonna be ready at your side. And really, that's talking about the times that we're in right now, man. What you're gonna do is switch the TV on and all of that, man. You see Russia and America this, man, right? Or America's gone into another country, right? To piss some more of these heathen countries off, right? So it says there, it says, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacles, and it shall bring him down to the king of terrors. And shall dwell in his tabernacles, because he is none of his. Right? Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation, man. Right? And that's just like a old way of saying, man, your destruction is gonna be upon you, man. So that brimstone, right, represents what is spoken about in the book of Job, the 20th chapter. When you go into the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, right? In Isaiah, the 54th chapter, when I just read the 16th verse, right? Those ICBMs, man, those intercontinental ballistic missiles, man, they're gonna scatter brimstone, right, upon your habitation, you Edomites, right? To where you ain't gonna have nothing left. As a matter of fact, the book of Job says it best, man. Right? I mean, in fact, and the book of 2 Peter says it as well, man. How your riches is gonna flow away, man. Right? And as for these different countries that are against you, man, the scripture also says, right, they ain't gonna regard your gold or anything like that. You might try to buy them off and pay them off. They ain't gonna regard that, man, because everyone's gonna realize you Edomites are the worst thing that have been put upon the face of the earth, man. When you go into the book of Malachi, the 1st chapter and the 4th verse on down, man, talks about how Edom, you know, is gonna. In fact, let me get that, man, because that's a good one on the topic. This is the book of Malachi. The first chapter and the 1st verse on down, it says, "The burden of the word of Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?" Right? And that goes to these 2/3, right? These 2/3 of our own people ain't nothing, man. Right? You know, they ain't shit, so you can understand. Right? So the Most High said he's loved the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, but they say, where hast thou loved us? When it says, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Right? Saith the Lord, yeah, I love Jacob and I hated Esau. I'm going to show you whom you call God as well, man. He's got favorites. One, he hates a whole nation. Right? And his favorite nation, when you go into the book of Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter and the 7th verse, or 7 and 6, right, talks about how he's made Israel his favorite, man. The Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the real Israelites, that's his favorite people, man. Just like how he has a favorite land, right, which has been defiled by those heathens right now. We're not spoken about in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, right? Just like how he has a favorite land, he has a favorite people, and just to counterbalance that, he's got a land that he doesn't like, man. Namely spoken about in the book of Amos, the 9th chapter and the 8th verse. America, so you can understand, right? And he's got a group of people that he despises, man. Right? And that's what's spoken about here in the book of Malachi, the 1st chapter and the 2nd verse. It says, in the 3rd verse, rather more, it says, I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste. Right? It says, for the dragons of the wilderness. And when you go into the book of maybe the Isaiah the 13th chapter as well, right at the bottom it speaks about how inhabitable that land is going to be after it's been destroyed, man, because you're going to have the nuclear fallout, right? You're going to have all kind of pollution by the destruction, by means of the destruction that's going to happen there, man. Dust, clouds, and all of that, man, right? And the Most High is going to leave it that way, so these heathen remember, right? That his people, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, 1. 2, as a reminder, if you buck up against the truth, this is what's going to happen to you. Alright? And then it goes on to say, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Alright, it says, thus saith the Lord, they shall build, just like how you've seen all kind of buildings that these Edomites have built, right? In these different countries and all of that. Right? Just like how they build, what does the Most High say? Just, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, right? And the people against whom the Most High has indignation forever. The Most High has got an indignation, which is righteous anger, man. The Most High he's got righteous anger against you, Edomites, right? The people of whom the Most High has indignation forever, man. Right? It says, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, right? That's talking about how they go into these different countries, man, and wherever they go, they bring all kind of wickedness, man. Their democracy, right? Their philosophies, man. Right? You got these different nations now, these different so-called religions, of which that's all going to be put away and done away with when we get into power, right? Because the scripture speaks about everybody's going to worship the Most High, man. Right? The Most High of the scriptures, man. Everyone's going to do that. Alright, and we're gonna have to forcibly implement them. Because right now you got all of these different kind of religions, right? Which all of those religions, man. When you read the book of, not the book of rather more. When you read the book Two Babylonians, all these different religions are just a spin-off of that Babylonian doctrine, right? Namely Semiramis, Tammuz, and the Nimrod, right? They're all spin-offs of all of that, man. Right? And really, you know, your so-called Christianity and all of that, that's just a spin-off of that Babylonian doctrine as well, man. Right? That's why you have Easter, that's why you have Christmas and all of that. Which all, like I said at the beginning, man, that all goes back to Babylon, man. That's all wickedness. Most I ain't dealing with that. Right? And that's why here it also says, man, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, right? And the people against whom the Most High has indignation forever. Right? Because they just spread wickedness on the face of the planet. Matter of fact, like I said, I was going to go into the book of Revelations. I might as well get it now. I'll start off on the 12th, and then I'll jump into the 18th. Right? And this is the book of Revelations 18. Not 18, 12 and 15. I bought this out on a recent sit down. Alright, it says, and the serpent shall cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman. Right, so the principal people to get with all of this wickedness that they push, right, is you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. Because if Esau can keep you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans down, man, right, there will be no kingdom to set up, man. Right, the Most High come back and save no one. There will be no elect, but that's impossible. That's why you have the people that we know as GMS, right? Who is the elite force within Israel, right? Right, establishing diligence, right? Establishing this world upon this earth, man, right? All through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, first and foremost, right? It says here, right? And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the waters, basically trying to deceive specifically you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. But you know, notice it said the serpent, man. It ain't talking about the spiritual demon Satan. That's talking about a group of people that are upon the earth, man. Right? And when you go into the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, right, it goes to prove to you that when it's talking about Lucifer, the light bearer, man. In fact, I'll get that because that goes into I'll get that last because that goes into what we was talking about in the book of Job, man. That would be a good one to wrap everything up. Right? So here it says the earth helped the woman. Rather it says, and after this, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away in the flood, which is the philosophy. So you can be carried away into Islam, Buddhism, and all of that. You know, all black unconsciousness, Egyptology, and all of that. Man, the most I ain't dealing with that, man. Right? You see how these they're just niggas with nothing to do, man. Right, going into the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter. I'll start the first verse on down with this one because this is a beauty. Right, and it goes into a few different things here. Right, but it also goes into the fact, like I was saying, man, all that Christmas nonsense, right? It's been perpetuated by Babylon, right? And that's spoken about here in the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter. Right. And it says, Revelations 18:1, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lit with his glory, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, right? Like I said, Babylon is just a combination of two words, meaning, right, a land of confusion, man. Right, the land where confusion perpetuates from, right? And we know that to be America, because that's a land full of confusion. You got men sleeping with men, women sleeping with women. Right, you got people that eat, food that's contrary to the dietary law that the Most High set up, and then they complain about having all kind of diseases and all of that, man. All kind of heart problems and liver problems and all of that, because you're not eating, right? But that's how we know that land or that group of people, whatever you want to call it, right? You know that as Babylon within the scriptures. So it says here. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great, is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, right? In the hold of every foul spirit, in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird, right? And it says, for all the nations have drank of the wine of the wrath of the fornication, the kings of the earth committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So when these different nations, man, they want to get that money, man, they put away their philosophies and institute the American way, right? Namely democracy, right? Namely their financial system, their fractional reserve banking, right? Their quantitative easing after a period of time, and then guess what, man? They might set up their own banks within there, and they'll just rate that particular nation for their riches, man. Right? It says here, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, right? That ye be not partakers of her sins and receive not of her plagues. Right? That's going to be an actual thing that's going to happen, man. Right? You're actually going to hear a voice coming from the sky, and it's going to beam up the elect of Israel, the elect of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. Right? So they're not partakers of the plagues. And what are those plagues, man? Right? When you go into the book of xmas, the 15th chapter, those ICBMs, you're also going to have plagues, like I said before, right? From those bio-nuclear weapons, man. Those from bio-warfare, man. You're going to have these different countries releasing all kind of destructive force upon America and the nations drained onto it. Right? And it says, the rewarder, even as she has rewarded you, that will unto her according to her works, the cup which she has filled. Right, and that's talking about the vengeance that's going to be taking place. Right, now let me finish up Job the 18th chapter, and I'm going to jump into Isaiah the 14th chapter real quick. Right, and it says there in Job the 18th chapter, in the 15th verse, right, it shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. So it's going into the destruction a little bit. right? His roots shall be dried up beneath him, above his branch, above his branch shall be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth. And that also goes into Job the 20th chapter, man, because he's going to be complete, and Obadiah as well, man. Esau's going to be completely forgotten about after a period of time, because when you go, when you understand the scripture, what it says, man, where they're going to serve their 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, right after their 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, they're going to be bound up, they're going to be burnt, man. And you ain't going to see no Edomites, man. You ain't going to see no proud Edomites walking up and down, right? Because they're not going to exist anymore. That's why it says here in the scripture in the Job, the 18th chapter and the 17th verse, it says, his remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no more name in the streets. Right? You're gonna be like, where's the Edomites, man? Matter of fact, Job says, it's not Job, sorry. It might be in the book of Isaiah. In fact, that's the spirit, because that's the scripture I'm going to next. It's in Isaiah the 14th chapter. Right? It says, is this he that did make the nations tremble, man? It's gonna be put down so low, but after that, even after that, you ain't gonna remember him no more, man. Right? So it says, hey, shall be driven from the light into the darkness and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwelling, man. Right? And they that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were frightened. Right? Meaning to say, man, people are gonna be put in check, man. They're gonna know all these different heathen nations, the Ishmaelites and all of that. They're gonna know not to act up against the children of Israel. Right? Because of what happened to America, speaking in a future sense. Right? But just to wrap that up in the last verse, it says, surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High. Right? Which is them Edomites. Right? When I go into the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, just to tie everything up, I'll go back and forth. I'll start off, in fact, I'll read the whole thing on that because it's beautiful. It's Isaiah 14:1, it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, right? And set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. They shall cleave to the house of Jacob, right? So you're going to have, some of our people, like I said before, they're going to be scattered amongst these different nations. They're going to wake up to the truth, and they're going to come back to their old estates, man. They're going to come back to their own people. All right? It says here in the second verse, the people shall take them and bring them to their place. The house of Israel shall possess them in their land, the servants and handmaids. Right? So we're going to have we're going to have captives whose captives we were, man. Right? In fact, when you go into the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 9th verse, it says, to him who have ears, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, man. The table's going to be completely flipped over on these Edomites, man. Right? It says, in fact, here it says it as well. It says, and they shall take them and bring them to their place in the house of Israel, which is the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, so you can understand. Right? Shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants, right, and handmaids, right, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, right, and it says, it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall give thee rest from all thy sorrows, and from thy fear, and from thy hard bondage, right, which the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans had to endure, but we had to endure that because we went off on the Lord's statutes, commandments of the Most High, but as a result, the scripture talks about the apple of the Most High. You touch the apple of the Most High, man. You're gonna get the recompense of that. All right. It says, and from thy hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Say how the oppressor has ceased. Right. How the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the ruler. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger. That's how Esau rules the nations, man. He rules them in anger, man. Right? Growing up into these different countries and fucking up in these different countries, man. Right? He who smote the people with the wrath and his continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. right? It says the whole earth is at rest. So when this man's going to be destroyed, when Esau's going to be destroyed, the whole earth is going to be at rest, right? It says the whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. They break forth in singing, right? That's talking about us when Esau's destroyed, man. It says here, the whole earth is singing, right? Sorry, they break forth into singing, right? Yea, the fir trees rejoice, right? And the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, right? Since thou was laid down, since Esau's been laid down, man, right? They had no fellow has come up against us, man, because they go into that's going into Esau and how he always taking more than he needs.
Yeah, well,
right? Yeah, this is the 9th verse. It says, hell from beneath me is moved to meet thee at thy coming. Right, talking about you Edomites. Right, it says, stirred up it stirred up the dead for thee, even the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from the thrones of all kings of nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as we, become thou like unto us. Right, it says, the pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of vials, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Right? It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Right? Meaning Lightbearer, which is just Esau, which is the same people, man, the Edomites. Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Going to show you, man, it ain't no spiritual demon, man. I ain't talking about the spiritual demon saying, I'm talking about a man. And it's going to actually say a man a little bit later on in the scriptures, man. Right? It says, how that which didst weaken the nation, for thou said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above above the stars of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation, right? And it says, in the sides of the north, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like of the Most High. That goes to prove to you that's Esau, man. Right? That's the characteristics of Esau quantified in a few verses, man. Right? Yet thou shalt be brought down to the hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, right, and consider thee, saying, and this is the point, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake nations, did shake kingdoms, man. And when you go to the book of Maccabees, man, the first chapter, it talks about when Alexander was put in place, man. He basically did exactly what it's been spoken about here in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, man. But he did weaken the nations, man. It did shake kingdoms, man. And all of his contemporaries, man, all of his predecessors and the ones that came after him did exactly the same thing, man. Going to show you that's talking about a man, and namely a group of people, and that group of people is going to be brought down to earth, man. Matter of fact, the scripture says earth, the hell is, which just means graves, man, right, is coming to meet thee as a man, because there ain't no real hell in the scriptures, man. That's another thing that they brought from that Babylonian doctrine, right? Let me just read that verse again. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, saying, is this the man that did make the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? Right? So for that 1,000 years, you're going to be serving hardcore captivity. Right, all of the different nations, right, the Ammonites, the Moabites, all of that, Ishmaelites, all of they're gonna now really look upon the Edomites and look at it and say, man, this is the piece of so and so that made the earth tremble, man. We can't believe it. Right, that's how far you're gonna be brought down, man. Right, as you know, because you Edomites walk around with a certain level of pride. That pride is gonna be a thing of the past, right? And just wrap this up now. It says, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prison. Right? It says, all the kings of the nations, even all them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave as an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, right, that go down to the stones of the pit, as the carcass is trodden underfoot, right? So really, man, you Edomites is gonna be done away with, man, right? But pretty much with that, you brothers stay sharp and all of that, right? And